Yeah. How do I go now? Actually, there are two things that I received which I would like to share, but necessarily I must separate them because these twins they are not identical. They're not identical. One is about jealousy. The other one is about the Eucharist. And the one about the Eucharist, even to share it, I will limit the view so that only those who have up to 18 years can have access to it. Now, let me talk about jealousy. We discover that if we do not work on ourselves, we may not even know how jealousy destroys us. It comes almost naturally to be jealous. That's what we see in the scriptures because now is the time of Easter, the time when we allow the Spirit to talk without so much focusing on how people would understand or welcome what we are saying. What is important is the truth, that came, that light that comes to help us. And in this case, the scriptures are very important, helping us to acknowledge this desire within us, this vice, and submit to the Spirit. We see right from Genesis immediately, maybe when we come to the story of Abel and Cain, how that spirit of jealousy made Cain, even after God had talked to him, told him to look at sin, Cain killed his brother because of jealousy. Or are we to go to so many stories? The story of Sarah and Hagar, or the classical story of Joseph and his brothers. We knew how that finished. Or even when Miriam and Aaron in Deuteronomy chapter 12 were jealous of Moses because, as they said, God was talking only through Moses and not through them. And then the whole story of Exodus started by jealousy when the Pharaoh, who didn't know Joseph, was telling his people, these Israelites, they are growing, becoming stronger. If we leave them, they will overtake us. And every persecution, every plan to eliminate the Israelites began from that jealousy. Sometimes when we talk about jealousy, we are thinking about maybe those who are bad. And as I said, I will just allow the Spirit to allow me. I enter into applications maybe before I go to even the text I wanted to use to talk about this jealousy. I have a family friend, and then maybe with that, from the positive aspect, where I see this freedom from jealousy, from my encounter with these people. Why am I talking about this? This woman who is a mother to my friend, both she and her daughter, and this my friend, I see so much of freedom in them. She is someone that almost every time I talk to her, I will be telling her about the goodness of others, how other families are good to me. And you see how much happy she is, how much she follows the discourse, how much she welcomes this news. Recently, something happened, and because of this freedom, this maturity, there was a time I had to get some gifts to give to many people. She was the one that helped me to get these gifts for others. I never gave her nor any member of her family this gift, but it was something she freely gave to others. And I had that freedom that even in giving to others without having received anything at all from me, this person does not doubt that I have that value for her family, notwithstanding that every time I'm telling her about the goodness of others, or even in this case, I sent things to others through her. I understand why I'm talking about this, because often I have had the experience of living up doing something which I wanted to do because the person who wanted to go through cannot carry it. I remember when I came back in 2014, I was talking with someone very, very dear to me. We discussed about so many problems. And then when this person noticed that I wanted to go and see another people, because this person knows that those other people are having also problems, the person was almost like, why go there? There are so many problems here. First of all, it's not as if I'm going to solve their problems, but the person knew that if I go there, maybe any little thing that he or she thought was means that he or she would have gotten might have finished up there. Forgetting even that I'm not even a solution to his or her problem. Forgetting that, even as I often say, that one day you just wake up and you will not see me, I will die, and life will go on. Life will go on. How I wish we have this type of freedom. And then to this, I entered to the main text I wanted to use to tell us that this problem of jealousy is a problem that each of us needs to welcome within us. As we're supposed to know, the scriptures, they don't describe human beings the way we normally do. We normally like to tell stories of people who are good when we write biographies. It is in Matthew chapter 19. After chapter 19, when this man who came to follow Jesus came, the rich man, and he ran away. When he ran away, Peter, the head, yes, I want to move from Peter. Why move from Peter? Because even the added part of the gospel, according to John, the last part, it ended when, after the Lord said how Peter would die, when he will stretch out his hand because of love and glorify the Lord by death, Peter looked at the beloved disciple. He said, Lord, what about him? Now I'm coming to the issue of jealousy. This is the point of arrival. So leave everything I've been talking. Let us allow the scriptures to talk to us. The Lord said, if I want him to stay until I come back, does it matter to you? Follow me. So now, this Peter, whom is called to leave the business of others, follow me. Because the problem with jealousy is we think that we know what is best for us, that God doesn't have what is best for us. Follow me. I have my own program for you, which is the best. Leave whether I give the other person 30 or whether I give the other person 20 or whether I give the other person 10. What I have for you is the best. So now this Peter in chapter 19 of Matthew, where I'm talking about, after this man left, he asked a question, the same question, of course, Mark will tell us in chapter 10. Lord, what about us? We have left everything and followed you. The Mark's version, which also Matthew's version repeats, Say that anyone who has left family, left wife, left anything, we get it 100-fold. Although Mark will say, not even without getting persecutions. But now, as Matthew was ending this thing, or rather Matthew didn't end it, the response of Jesus continued into chapter 20. This is our point of arrival. So it was ending, they will get 100-folds. Those who are the first will be the last. Those who are the last will be the first. And then Jesus told a parable, which is the parable I want to use. For the kingdom of God is like a man who went out in the morning and saw some people, brought them to work for him, and agreed to pay them 1 denarius a day. He went out so many times. In the evening, he called someone who is to pay. Say, pay to the workers, beginning from the last to arrive to the first. All of them were paid 1 denarius. When the first to arrive, of course, this our Peter, ourselves, who have supported the weight of the heat. We who has always been there with you. We are your family members. I am your wife. I am your brother. I am your son. We are coming, expecting to get more. Maybe if my dad decides to give out his land to people and he doesn't give to me, I maybe like the elder brother of the prodigal son begin to think that thing is for me. Calm down. So when the Lord was addressing to these fixed people, he told them, young man, friend, even he called him friend, take what is yours. Did I not agree with you to pay you 1 denarius a day? Or are you having a bad eye, ophthalmos poneros, like many translations will render it with jealous or envious? Or are you envious of my goodness? Are you envious of my generosity? Take what is yours and go. Thank God for scriptures. Because the problem is that even after Jesus told this parable, referring to Peter, who has left everything, who now will give his life, who maybe he might be thinking that since I worked more, I am to get more, we will be thinking that the problem is Peter's. The problem is not of Peter. Because there, immediately, Jesus announced again, the 3rd time, that he will die and resurrect. Following that announcement came the mother of James and John, disciples. Thank God I'm using them as an example so that people will not say that I'm trying to instigate or say that they are bad. When the other disciples saw what happened, of course, Jesus asked them, can you drink of the cup? When they said yes, other disciples, the 10, were angry with these 2 disciples for wanting to be one at the right hand, the other at the left hand. That was where we understand that the real problem is every other person's problem. Not just Peter, who maybe what am I going to gain before because I worked so much. This other person could not renounce. No, not even these 2 who came, but every other person, because they were eyeing that position. But just as in the world, we hardly say the truth, we hardly point at the real problem. The real problem is that of jealousy, that of wanting to get what we think is ours, but what belongs to God. Like in the case of the elder brother of the prodigal son, or in so many cases of just maybe the example of what I was saying, when you may want to, I know many married people are into this case, maybe you may want to help somebody and you discover that your husband or your wife or your kids are annoyed because they pretend that your own thing belongs to them. So the Lord tells you Are you envious of my goodness? Are you jealous because that person whom you think is doing evil is still alive? Are you annoyed with me because I'm blessing the other person whom is not making effort as you think? Like those who came at the last moment. Even as they said in that parable, you made us equal with them. So when, as a Christian, you are making effort, are you pretending that you have to get something more? These are the things that will help us to know the extent of our freedom from jealousy. And of course, why we need the Lord. If I'm saying anything, it's just that we need the Lord for transformation so that we enter into that life which only Him offers. We're accepting Him, we are happy for that which He gives us. Because that which He gives us is always the best, and not that which we think is for us. Peace be with you.